All right, it looks like we are live. Let's make sure. Yes, we are. I also have to go and hit the recorder here too for this. There we go. All right, so I'm super excited to be here. I'm very excited for those of you who are watching from YouTube. You know how the drill goes. I am Dr. Reverend Joanne into BarryColon's. I am the founder of Holistic Healing Magazine, and I'm super excited to be here today with one of our author features. Now, the issue that we are going to be chatting about is the March issue. And yes, I know we're already mid-April. However, this is how this all goes. So I'm going to take a moment to turn the mic over to our amazing, amazing Dr. Joey. Introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and a little bit about your journey, and then we're going to dive right into your book and the magazine as well.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Joy Brown, a career and leadership coach, author, entrepreneur, and someone known as the positive energizer. With a name like Joy, I bring the joy and I bring the light and I bring the encouragement. I am also the CEO of 3E Consultant, which stands for Educate, Equip, and Empower through coaching, conversations, and workshops. I am the one that you go to when you are trying to discover your talents and gifts, when you want to define your personal brand, and I'm going to help you get prepared and positioned for your next opportunity.
I love your introduction. I love the three E's again: educate, empower, and what
And
was the third?
equipped, equipped.
Equip. How did you come up with those three?
Well, one of the things is I have a background in HR. I've grown up in HR, and to me, HR is about helping people and organization be the best that they can do. But also in my life journey with my superpowers, which are your gifts and talents. I call them your superpowers. It's those things that are easy to you and they become your superpowers. And in my profession and everything I do, it aligns with educating, equipping, and empowering. And one of my favorite numbers is three. So I said, let's put that together. 3E.
I I love that. And why is your favorite number three?
It's just the number 3. Because all things are in three. One, two, three. There's always 3.
Yes, yeah, it happens to be one of my favorite numbers as well. And again, because when we talk about the number three, it's like when we talk one, it's singular. We talk two, it's a partnership. We talk three or more, there's a
It's a
collaboration.
collaboration. Yes.
I love that. I love that. So you had an opportunity to be featured in the March issue. I mean, you've had an opportunity to be featured in my magazine several times,
Yes.
and we're probably going to have you back on again for those other opportunities that you've had. But since being in the magazine as the author feature, what has changed for you, if anything?
I think the biggest thing that have changed me is I'm just truly honored to be on a platform and as well as a magazine feature. Just being able to tell my story, just being able to empower somebody, encourage somebody. Because again, if you told me maybe 5 years ago would I be on a magazine or would I have authored a book, I would have told you no. But I knew that I had a story. And that's what started my first book. I had a story. I started, promoting. I was turning a big milestone. So I started writing just information, quotes on Facebook and wanted people to comment. Then one day I said, this was fun. I could probably write something. And I had a thought, right? How many of us have had a thought or an idea? And then one day, by the power of a connection, someone said, hey, I'm about to do this book called an anthology and they're looking for authors. Are you interested? I said, sure. I would let me go to the interest meeting. And that's what started my author journey.
I love that. As I always say, when we think of a thought, we take a bunch of letters and we put them together to make words. And then one word, bring 5 words together, we get a sentence, we get a paragraph, and before you know it, we have a book.
Yes.
And every one of us, you, me, and everyone else watching, we all have a book in us. We all have a story to share. And believe it or not, it would be very selfish of all of us that's not sharing our story because there's someone out there that needs it. And I truly believe that if we have a message, there's somebody out there who's looking. It's like they're cleaning out their closet, for that answer,
Mm-hmm.
and your paragraph or your page or your entire book may be the very thing that they need to
Mm-hmm.
get them to their next part in life.
Yes.
And I don't really believe that people really understand and the magnitude of
Mm-hmm.
what that could do for someone.
Yes, I totally agree. I love that because again, we all have, you all go through life. And I always say some of your greatest tests may become your greatest testimonies because in that test, you learn something. The thing that you thought you couldn't overcome, you were able to do that. And sometimes that story can resonate with somebody reading it and they can say, wow, if they did it, I can do it too. And that's what it is. All
Exactly.
the things I write about is something that I've lived. So I think that's, and like you said, it's power in your story.
Exactly. And it's so true in regards to how my magazine came about. It was actually a thought of mine back in 2019 when I started my talk show.
Mm-hmm.
I had this vision that, oh, I want to put together a magazine so I can not only interview those who have my talk show, but then eventually take that interview and write it out into a magazine. And my talk show started back in 2019. And after seeing and witnessing so many people having their magazines, and I too being featured in so many, I said, you know what? It cannot be that difficult to put together a magazine if everybody else is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so I need to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I need to ask God to bring people into my path that's going to
Mm-hmm.
sort of guide me, support me, and encourage me
Mm-hmm.
to get it going.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there was a lot of fear, a lot of worry, a lot of like, okay, am I going to be able to get
Mm-hmm.
people to even get into my magazine? Nevertheless, create one.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like my biggest thing. And I was like, well, you know what? Whether I get one person to be in it or
Mm-hmm.
it's just me,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter. The idea is it's got to get started because it's something that's sitting in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, there's a plan for it. And little by little, before you knew it, I have you in it. I have this one in it. I have that one in it. And now here it is, a year and oh my God, like a month later, that this book,
Wow.
this magazine has been hitting the shelves, hitting so
Mm-hmm.
many people's hands, and more and more. And of course, that's the mission: is just to
Mm-hmm.
get more and more people involved,
Mm-hmm.
so they too can share their story. So not
Mm-hmm.
just like sharing their book story, but sharing their story,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't really ever know how many people actually reads the
Yeah.
book magazine.
Mm-hmm.
But even if there's one person that reads it every single day, you're
Mm-hmm.
making a difference in that person's life.
That is so true. That is so true. I totally agree.
Yeah. So what I would like for us to do now is we're going to just change channels just a little bit because I want to
Okay.
talk about your amazing book, and then in a second we're gonna actually, of course, if our virtual background permits, we don't have the flexibility to take it off and then put it back on.
Mhm.
Show both the magazine and, of course, your book. So tell us the title of your book to start off with.
So the book is called Silhouettes of Strategies from Authentic Coaches for Mind, Body, and Soul. So again, it was an anthology from a coach's perspective, and you can talk about the mind, the body, and the soul. So my chapter that I talked about was about called it was in the health and fitness wellness coach because again I did a major transformation in my life with my physical appearance and it was called becoming a healthier you, the transformation. But not only is this about a health journey, but I do believe that in life we go through transformations. And
Oh
so
yeah.
some of the things that I talked about was about the transformation, identifying your why. So to me, identifying your why is not only about your health journey, but it could be like, why did you want to start your business? Why do you want to start your goal? And this remembering that why is going to keep that fuel and fire for you to continue to go when everybody says, why you want to do that? There's something inside of me that I got this vision, this goal, and I just believe, and I'm glad that you did it anyway, even when you were unsure. And that's the message. And the second point, identify the how. I love it how you talked about God gave you a vision, you had it in you. Then I said, Lord, send me people. That's a how. That's
Yes.
step two. Send me the how I'm going to do this. I've never done
Yes.
it. but he will give you resources. And then the other thing is identify your support system. And so we talked about just different strategies about a transformation of a weight loss, but it's not about the weight loss. It's about what you've learned and how you can apply this. Accepting the setbacks. Because what? Because in life, we're going to have setbacks. But it's what you do with the setbacks can be your comeback for everything that's going to be ahead of you. And so it was an honor to do this book that started my journey. And like I just said, I just told my weight loss story. That's all I did, and put in the book and just related to how you can apply that to life in so many ways.
Yes, and I love how you told your story. It's part of my mantra when I work with clients like yourself, where a big portion, and I'm really hoping that many women are listening to this, a big portion of, I like to use the word releasing weight, is literally sharing the story out loud in regards to however the weight came on. Because it's the story behind what caused the weight to come on. And when we speak about weight, it's not just about the food as much as it's about the emotional trauma that we've experienced that we're holding on to.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think that on a psychological level, we hold on to that to protect us from something or someone. And until we literally tell that story of the trauma, and we start breaking it down and peeling it away, it has absolutely nothing to do with changing your dietary habits. It's just really about releasing the emotional connection.
Yep.
And the minute that you and anybody else can share that story, you've already released it because you're opening up your mouth and allowing yourself to say, this is what it was.
Yep.
It's not what it is.
That is so true. I love that. And like you said, it's that way. It's like that baggage. Like you could just feel like you weigh in 10 tons, but it's all the baggage. It's all that trauma. It's all the things that people have told you that you have encountered and you have held on to. And people have moved on with their life, but you still thinking about them and still they have not thought about you. But it's that release. And sometimes that release is you've got to face it and you've got to name it. And that's by speaking it. There is power in what you speak out your mouth. And it's that release. And that's your breakthrough. That's the beginning of your breakthrough right there. And that's the transformation right there.
Exactly. And it's also that space of forgiveness.
Yes.
It's allowing yourself to forgive. It's not necessarily about the people that we forgive, as it's more about how we forgive ourselves for all the time we've held on to the very story, preventing us from releasing the story. And that forgiveness is whole. It's holy for that matter. So it's so powerful. And as we've said, it's the power of the words. So I am so grateful to you. I feel so blessed to have you sitting right here with me, sharing the story. I'm so grateful that the words that are coming to me right now is brave and encouraged and empowered to write your story. Because there are so many women out there, and even men. I mean, we're always talking about women. You know, it's like, I think the men think that we women don't think that they go through this as well. And I know that men go through this just as much as women do. You know, so yeah, we're going to put that men in there too, because we hold on to something. And I truly believe that as women, a big part of our transformation is being able to hold space for the men.
Yes.
So that they too can go through their transformation and let go of the weight that they carry on.
Oh, yes.
Can we have an amen to that?
Dr. Joanne, that's a whole show we got to do. That's a whole show right there. Because like you said, we have to create the spaces for men to share. Because we talk about the baggage, but they carry a lot of baggage. They carry a lot of trauma. And again, in some cultures and communities, we don't share. We want to demystify that. There is power in the speaking. There's power in the healing. Because again, and you're a coach and you work with a lot of clients, stuff that happened in our childhood shows up in adulthood. You are in relationships and that something happened that'll trigger you, that shows up and your partner has no clue, but it's something that you have not released. And we
Yes.
want to give you the space to heal. Well, we can do a whole session on healing. Come on now. And forgiveness. We can do a whole series on healing because, again, it's for you.
Yes.
And people don't understand there's power in the healing and the grace, I say, and the mercy for you.
Yes.
And that's where we have to work on that mindset every day. That once we've asked for it, we've forgiven, we've got to forgive ourselves. Because in life, there's wisdom. Some stuff you got to go through to understand the wisdom and the lesson, to really understand, this is why I had to go through that. So now I know.
Yes.
And so there's power in the wisdom. There's definitely power in the wisdom.
Exactly. There's nothing that we go through that isn't a part of our lesson.
Yes.
At least the testimony.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Come on with it. Come on.
Everything we go through is literally our daily testimony to why we're here.
Yep.
And when we get to that place where we're in that space of forgiveness, we can then look back and be like, oh, and then we literally rejoice in the experience.
Yes.
We no longer feel like, oh my God, we now rejoice in the experience because we've learned so much from that experience.
Yes.
So again, I'm truly, truly blessed to have you here today to share about your amazing book. And I'm sure positively and praying over you that book is going to touch so many people's lives. That book is going to be in so many people's hands. And there's going to be many, many, many more people doing their healing, their releasing, and transforming. And your words, my words, our words together, we're really going to change the way we look at the industry between health, fitness, and wellness. And start really paying attention to, it's not about the food. Our food is our fuel.
Yep.
It really is about releasing the trauma. And that's where the transformation takes over.
Yep.
It's a powerful testimony.
So again, it is. It's taking out that trauma and building new habits and new things of positivity, affirmation, mindfulness, all the things to help you navigate what we call life.
Exactly. And I love it. One of my favorite abdomen to it is living in freedom every day. And when we do release the trauma, we allow ourselves to live in the freedom every day. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful process. Let everybody know how they can find, where they can get your book.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram and Facebook under the number 3 followed by 3Es Consulting, and that is the website as well. All my books are out there. You can sign up for free coaching and discovery calls. And so I am here to, again, help you be prepared and positioned for your next. Discover your gifts and talents and help you define your personal brand.
There you go. And do you have your book? Let's see if we can show it.
Yeah, so I have the book. It's right here. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Here's the book.
If you want to click off your virtual background to show it, you're welcome to.
Okay, yes, I will do that so you can see the book and everything, so you can see the book. All right, so here's the back. Here's the book. There it goes. So here's the book. Yep. So appreciate you all. So yep, here's the book. So it's on the website, so you can look at that too. And again, it's at www.3 followed by 3esconsulting.com.
I love that. I love that. And as we show her amazing book, we also have the amazing magazine here. You have your as well. There we go.
There I go. It's in this magazine. Yay. This is the March one. Yes, yes. And I'm also in the April one. And this is my birthday month. So yeah, we got the April magazine.
There you go. Yes. I have that one here as well.
Yeah. Get your copy today.
Exactly. So for those of you who are interested in getting the copies of the March and April issue, you can go over to my website, which is Holistic Fitness NY. And just scroll down, you'll find all of the issues there. If you have a challenging time finding it on my website, just go ahead and find me on Facebook, send me a message, and I'll be more than happy to sending that link out. I'll also post it again once we are recorded onto Facebook so you can get your copies. And I'm, again, super excited. Thank you so much for your time, your patience, and with all that goes on with technology behind the scenes. I appreciate you, Dr. Joe. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Oh, thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you.